what is the current landscape of talent in your organization? The current talent, and how do you see the talent requirements are going to shift in next 3 years or next 5 years? So yeah.
Suhail, thank you so much for setting the context. As you rightly mentioned, auto sector is completely at the, I would say, at the helm of affairs as far as contribution to GDP is concerned. And if I talk of specifically the scene of talent in our set of companies, well, very, very buoyant, very volatile set of people. And in terms of total talent pool that we will have, mostly engineers by profession, and very, very innovative set of people who are having a huge eagerness to learn, contribute, and millennial workforce, younger talent. We've seen a significant shift in percentage of people whom we had within the age group of below 35 years in the last 5 years, dramatically increased. So it's a even mix now of a lot of younger people and older ones, but yeah, adding to the versatility of the talent pool that we have. So that's how the current pool is. Yeah, going forward, I think in terms of the skill sets and talent, skill mapping that we are looking at, with the EV coming in, with the whole customer preferences changing in such a volatile manner, and also I would say a lot of demand from the sustainable mobility solutions point of view, and adoption of digital skills. So there is a need to shift, for the needle to shift in that direction of adopting digitization, of being able to be innovative and very impromptu at times. So that's how I see the talent needs moving.
Sure. Thanks, Manasi. Mr. Jain, what's your viewpoint? I mean, how do you see the current talent landscape in your organization?
Okay, thank you again, Suhail and team-based team. See, the auto and the auto ancillaries, or the tier 1s and tier 2s, are linked to the same objective. Now, if you see, as compared to a lot of sectors, the auto sector is into a lot of challenges, mainly because of the government's continuous intervention towards upgradation of technology front. And these government regulations have forced the industry to adopt and spend a lot of in terms of upgrading their own investments to meet the norms. Now, from Bharat 4 to Bharat 6, BS6, globally, if you see any transition between the two levels of these norms takes about 7 to 10 years, whereas in India it has been rolled out in a span of 3 years. Now that has brought in a huge amount of investments which the organizations are forced to do. And while the market size in terms of the number of vehicles being produced and sold in India is much lower as compared to the global counterparts, but one has to see that what is the effective utilization of the infrastructure versus the automobiles that we are selling against. So a large amount of workforce today, post-COVID, has looked into the mobility in a very different way. Now, that has also changed the way auto companies used to be thinking pre-COVID and post-COVID. And post-COVID, the focus of the government on phasing out the fossil fuel. The recent statement of Mr. Nitin Gadkari, the Honorable Minister, saying that in the next 5 years, petrol vehicles will vanish. Now, that's a huge statement, and look its impact on India. if that is going to happen, the talent shift that we're talking about, the skilled manpower that we're talking about, you said 50 million people. I will not be able to comment even beyond. Will you be able to get even 5 million trained people for the new challenges that is going to come into India?
Got it.
And so the talent word is very, very misnomer when we talk about, because what we are talking about as the future requirements, that shortage is going to be enormous. And when we talk about bridging this gap through an apprentice or a degree apprentice program, uh, it is a much larger task, and it cannot be done by a handful of companies or a handful of institutions which have dipped in this work of a degree apprentice program. It's not adopted, or it's not been part of even a national education policy. NEP also does not lay emphasis more on the educating from the apprentice side.
Absolutely.
Rather, it is only again talking. So one thing which I have always said is, going forward, the word skill will become more and more important versus a degree.
Got it.
And if you also see, more than 50% of the seats in engineering colleges today are vacant, whereas all the vocational colleges which are offering recognized vocational courses, you don't get seats.
Correct.